What's up, everybody? Democrats are running scared, trying to Capitol Police or backlash for ordering military to just obey Trump. This has happened 2 hours ago. So yeah, the Democrats are crying wolf, crying like little babies because their plan backfired, and now they're running to Capitol Police trying to get them to save themselves. So let's get into the video, shall we?
Lawmakers of seditious behavior punishable by death. Just to be clear, does the president want to execute members of Congress?
No. Let's be clear about what the president is responding to. You have sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful orders.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
We have 1.3 active duty service members in this country, and if they hear this radical message from sitting members of Congress, that could inspire chaos, and it could incite violence, and it certainly could disrupt the chain of command to signal to people serving under this commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, that you can defy him and you can betray your oath of office. That is a very, very dangerous message, and it perhaps is punishable by law.
The president and the vice president, for that matter, have accused the other side of encouraging political violence. Isn't that exactly what the president is doing when he says that members of Congress should be killed?
Why aren't you talking about what these members of Congress are doing to encourage and incite violence? They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders. Every single
illegal order.
But they're suggesting, Nancy, that the president has given illegal orders, which he has not. Every single order that is given to this United States military by this commander-in-chief and through this chain of command, through the Secretary of War, is lawful. To suggest and encourage that active duty service members defy the chain of command is a very dangerous thing for sitting members of Congress to do. And they should be held accountable, and that's what the president wants to see.
Wait. So, we got to continue our coverage of the, quite frankly, hilarious meltdown that is currently happening on the Democrat side of the aisle over President Trump, warning them that, hey, you know, if you engage in what could be defined as seditious behavior, then, you know, there could be consequences. Right now, this was a play stupid games, win stupid prizes type of moment, because Democrats decided it would be a good idea to have members of the Senate post a video telling members of the military that it is okay to defy the president's unlawful orders. Now, they did not define what orders were unlawful, right? What orders did the president give, or what orders are the president currently giving that are unlawful. They didn't define that. It was very ambiguous, and it was ambiguous for a reason, because they were encouraging rank and file members of the military to disobey the president. This is what they were doing. Okay, they know that's what they were doing. It was a whole, well, we said unlawful orders as a shield, right? But it's really wink wink. You don't have to obey the president, right? You don't have to follow orders. Now, again, this is a problem because it creates chaos and confusion, which is the only thing that Democrats seem to actually be good at nowadays, is creating chaos and confusion, right? And yeah, it was a F around and find out type of post from President Trump to let the Democrats know that, yeah, if you're going to play these type of stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes. And since then, Democrats in the mainstream liberal media, they have been boohoo, whining, and crying. Of course, we now have the Hitler comparisons coming because, of course, likes to engage in this type of hyperbole.
What do you make of President Trump's call that some of your colleagues are guilty of sedition and perhaps should give the death penalty as a result of it?
To be honest, the president's remarks are, I think, indicate a level of instability. It's not just shocking, it's not just offensive, it's bizarre, it is erratic, it's volatile. And I think it indicates a mental state that we should all be questioning right now, whether that's emotional, mental, what have you. It is not normal to make these accusations. It is not normal to invoke these kinds of threats of violence. And it's also not normal to also dramatically misquote, as Carolyn Leavitt was doing, what these members of Congress said. They made a very clear message to U.S. service members, which is that you do not have to obey an illegal order. And I think that's an important message to reiterate, because this administration seems to be increasingly trying to go down that path. And for President Trump to respond so strongly with threats of accusations of sedition and threats of violence, I think indicates a nerve that was hit that I think has been responded to in a completely inappropriate way.
President Trump's wildly inappropriate and potentially dangerous call for 6 members of Congress to potentially be executed or hanged because they issued a video reminding members of the military that they do not have to carry out illegal orders glosses over the fact, because Trump's reaction was so out of control.
No. You know what? I support what Trump said. You tell 1.3 billion U.S. soldiers to disregard orders by the president, the commander-in-chief, who signs their paychecks, then yes, you should have the death penalty, because you're trying to cause a riot, a war in the USA. You spreading communist and dictatorial propaganda in the USA because you don't like Trump. So yeah, death penalty might be an error, but let's face it. You better cause a lot of problems, a lot of damage, a lot of chaos, a lot of carnage and bodies being killed because you told them to not respond to Trump's orders. So yeah, you should be put to death. Back to the video.
That this issue of illegal orders is not a new one. There's this new movie out starring Russell Crowe called Nuremberg. The Nuremberg defense, this is the war crimes tribunal after World War II, was that these Nazis were only following orders. And the Nuremberg defense was resoundingly rejected in international law. Carrying out illegal orders is not a defense because you were being obedient. In addition, in Vietnam, there was a whole debate about carrying out illegal orders after the My Lai massacre. That's when a bunch of U.S. soldiers massacred hundreds of innocent Vietnamese civilians. And their defense, again, carrying out orders, and Lieutenant Calley was convicted. That was not a defense. There was a similar debate after the Kent State shootings in 1970, when National Guardsmen shot some student protesters protesting the Vietnam War, and there was a whole debate about whether or not they had been told to fire.
Yeah, that's all great, right? That's all fine and good, right? The question is, what are the illegal orders? What are the illegal orders that you're talking about? Because when you post a video like that, this is what Democrats don't understand. When you post a video like that, in a world where Democrats believe that President Trump is an illegitimate president, which by definition means that anything that the president says or orders is illegitimate, and then you say, hey, you don't have to follow unlawful orders, and Democrats believe that everything that the president says or does or orders is unlawful, right? Then yeah, that creates chaos and confusion. The fact is that if they're going to make a video like that, then you better come with some specifics about what orders should they not be following, right? But they didn't do that.
How is the president pitting the military against American citizens? I don't know what they mean by that. A. B. What are the illegal orders? What are they talking about? It's like they live in an alternate reality. They live in a movie. They live in a TV show where something that's they claim is happening is not actually happening in reality. I don't know what illegal activity they're talking about, but I do know what illegal activity they're recommending. And they're trying to get people in the chain of command to disobey the commander-in-chief, which would be a terrible idea.
But they're saying don't obey legal orders, which is not
what orders.
I don't know, but I didn't hear them advocate breaking the law.
Well, I mean, I think they're trying to influence members of the military to, start to determine all orders are illegal orders just because they don't like Donald Trump. That's the way I took it. I mean, what are they trying to foment insurrection in the ranks of the military? I mean, what are they doing?
They're saying if you're being asked to do something illegal, you can come forward.
What is it?
I don't know, but
one example.
I'd like to hear an example, but I don't understand why people are so upset by this.
Look,
They're not advocating. They're not advocating anything illegal. I'm not being. I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm just truly mystified because I've heard from like 20 people about this.
this goes to the core argument that Democrats have made for 10 years about Donald Trump. They've never gotten over it. He is the legitimately elected president of the United States. He was in 2016. He was in 2024. He is presently the legitimate commander-in-chief. But you have this group of Democrats who have tried to treat him like an illegitimate president every step of the way for the last decade. This is the latest installment in this fantasy that Donald Trump isn't actually supposed to be able to act as the president or the commander-in-chief or whatever. And so, I mean, to me, I think this is going to backfire on them. I think this is fan service for the fever swamps of the left, but to the average American, it's going to sound crazy.
And now they're getting backlash for it. Okay, they are doubling and tripling down on the fact that, oh, well, see, we didn't mean any harm by this, right? See, again, this is the F around and find out moment. We didn't mean any harm by this. We were just saying don't follow unlawful orders.
There's been a lot of controversy. A lot of people got upset about the video. And let me just say, they are trying to wield fear to get us to stop talking about this issue. They don't want to be talking about the deployment of the military in our streets, the deployment of federal law enforcement in our streets. They don't want to have that public conversation because they know it goes to the heart of who we are as Americans, as a democracy. And so we have a way to deal with this. The Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of Homeland Security could do a public hearing, have the American people hear directly from them on the point of having U.S. military and U.S. law enforcement deployed to American cities. Let the American public hear that conversation. I can't think of something that's more fundamental to who we are as Americans. Our founding fathers would certainly want to be having that conversation. So we should have a public hearing. Congress should do its job. My colleagues who are chairwomen and chairmen of these committees should hold these hearings. I think the Secretary of Homeland Security and the Secretary of Defense should sit side by side and explain to the American people why it is we need to deploy these forces into American cities.
Maybe because the municipalities that are harboring millions of illegal immigrants are not cooperating with the federal government. And when ICE goes into these cities to do their jobs, to deport the illegals, you have radical extremist lunatics who are attacking ICE, obstructing, and not allowing them to do their jobs. This is why you got to bring in the military in order to help carry out and enforce federal law, right? That's why it is necessary, in which, again, we haven't really seen the military be used for anything except protecting ICE. That's it, right? We haven't really seen too many interactions between civilians and members of the National Guard. We haven't seen any of the stuff that these people are boo-hooing and crying about and claiming is unlawful, right? I mean, these people just lie, right? They lie and they exaggerate.
The Democrats are running scared. They turn on each other because they know that their deals with Jeff Epstein is coming to light. Everything like that. They know their time is coming. They're going to face trial. They're going to face prosecution. So therefore, they try to do everything in their power to cause chaos, cause trouble, so Trump cannot get them, or keep the Republican American people preoccupied so they can escape from one of these countries that's in their agenda. That's why they're doing all this right here. That's why they try to tell the 1.3, I think, million or trillion army people we have, turn against Trump and cause chaos in the streets. So they can slip through the radars, run to Mexico, run to Tijuana, run to Venezuela, run to Afghanistan, Iraq, all of them. So they get scot-free. Back to the video, shall we?
And then when they get some backlash for their lies and their exaggerations, they want to boo-hoo, whine, and cry victim, right? Oh, Trump is putting us in danger because he called us out on that BS, right? This is what they're saying, okay? Democrat lawmakers report Trump to Capitol Police after he wildly posted about their execution. What a hell of a title. Let's read here. At least 3 Democratic lawmakers have reported President Donald Trump to Capitol Police as of Friday after his wild Thursday Truth Social rant, accusing 6 members of the party of seditious behavior punishable by death. Per reporting by Axios and the Washington Post, Representatives Jason Chow, Chris Deluzio, and Chrissy Holohan have all filed complaints with the Capitol Police, with both Crow and Deluzio requesting investigations into the President. Trump's initial post came after 6 Democratic lawmakers, Chow, Deluzio, Holohan, and Maggie Goodlander, Senator Alyssa Slotkin, and Senator Mark Kelly, collaborated on a video urging members of the military and the intelligence community to, quote, stand up for our laws and constitution and to refuse illegal orders. Notably, all of the aforementioned are veterans of the military or intelligence worlds themselves. Per its email to Capitol Police obtained by Axios, Crow's office is reporting 4 Trump's True Social post. In, quote, the first threat reads the email, quote, he claims the congressman and his fellow veteran members of Congress should be arrested and put on trial. Yeah, so I think we get the gist of what's going on here. Democrats are now boohoo, whine, and crying to BS now, Alyssa Slotkin, claiming that Capitol Police told her that they're going to put her on 24/7 security because she's scared. She's afraid of what Orange Man is going to do, right? So let's laugh at this clip.
Like this change your security situation. We heard Marjorie Taylor Greene talk about that last week. You're nodding your head. I mean, this has very tangible effects. I've seen and
yeah, we're getting to the point now in politics where anybody that the president criticizes, their lives are in danger, right? Not the president himself, who was almost assassinated on live television for the world to see, but a bunch of members of Congress who, for the most part, as far as I know, have not had credible attempts on their lives or faced the threats that President Trump has actually faced. No, they're the ones that are real victims, right? They're the ones that are in danger, okay? Because, again, anybody that the president criticizes now, he's putting their lives in danger, according to mainstream liberal media and Democrats and people like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Other lawmakers in somewhat analogous situation.
Yeah, I mean, look, over the years, I've had threats here and there. It was instantaneous. I mean, hundreds, if not at this point, thousands of calls, emails, texts, obviously online postings. Capitol Police came to us and said, you know, we're going to put you on 24/7 security. We've got...
Capitol Police came to us. But yet, according to Axios, Democrats are the ones that went to Capitol Police and started boohoo, whine, and cry. But according to Alyssa Slotkin, Capitol Police came to us and said, we're putting you on 24/7 security because Orange Man threatened your life, right? This is the story being told on BS now.
Law enforcement out in front of my house. I mean, it changes things immediately. And leadership climate is set from the top. And if president is saying you should be hanged, then we shouldn't be surprised when folks on the ground are going to follow suit and say even worse. So I think for all of us, it has fundamentally changed our security situation. But I will say it doesn't change how I feel about coming on TV now and talking about it or saying what I said today. I think it only strengthens that. I mean, he is trying to use fear as a weapon. He's trying to distract us from whatever he doesn't want.
Think how Democrats do the exact same thing? That's 8 years ago. Use fear as a weapon. Now, as a Republican, they can bring receipts and take the same thing y'all used back then as fear against y'all. I'm scared. I'm crying. Please save me. See, y'all do the exact same thing to him. Use fear. Use military people, the FBI, and all that, to try to kill Trump. Payback's a bitch. And it's time for y'all to get y'all upcomings. So, yeah. I don't feel sorry for y'all. Y'all threatened that man. Y'all sent FBI people to try to kill him multiple times. Had people try to kill him multiple times. How one guy shot almost killed him. How come other people tried to kill him before? Didn't do it. Had another person set it already. So yeah. Y'all Democrats have done a lot of shit to those Republicans. But now it's how we're getting back to y'all. Y'all want to roll into the cops and say, help me, save me. They always say, payback's a bitch, you reap what you sow, and y'all get what y'all get.
What to talk about the Epstein files or whatever else, but he's also trying to intimidate people out of criticizing him. That's the entire game here. And then he's trying to intimidate people in his party to keep quiet, even when he does things that violate our norms. And he's he can wield that on some, but it just doesn't work for people who have served and have done other dangerous things in our lives.
Yeah, so notice how these people can never elaborate on exactly what are the unlawful orders, right? You're telling members of the military to not follow, right? Give us some specifics. It's nothing but generalities. And never forget, while these people boo-hoo and cry, and this is one of the reasons why I honestly really just don't, like, it's just like so funny to me that these people are the ones that are crying foul. Never forget, Democrats and their supporters openly supported Jay Jones, the Attorney General-elect in Virginia, who fantasized about killing Republicans, killing his political opponents and their kids, their family. This guy is now the top cop in Virginia, and Democrats refuse to condemn him or his campaign. They refuse to do it. And Democrat voters voted for this guy to be the top cop in Virginia.
A scandal over text messages in which he, the Democrat, said that the GOP Speaker of the House of Delegates should get 2 bullets to the head for how he paid tribute to a former moderate Democratic lawmaker who died. He has apologized. Should he get out of the race?
Well, that's up to the people, the leaders in Virginia. They have said he has apologized. What I understand is they say that on balance he's a better person to be Attorney General. But that's up to them. But I wish there would be enough fuss of all the times that people have said they were going to put a bullet in my head right in public. In the public.
Senator, do you still support Jay Jones? You do. What do you think he should drop out of this race after those comments? I just answered your question. You have concerns about what you saw?
The comments are completely indefensible. I've known Jay Jones for 25 years, and those comments are very much out of character for him. So if I put the comments, which are clearly beyond the pale, against knowing this guy for 25 years, I'm still supporting Jay Jones. What do you think about
Mr. Speaker, what are your thoughts on Jay Jones's